Namaste to all of you. I hope that you can see me and everything is going well. This was a training by Chandra, and I hope that things will be visible to you. This is a new phase, and in terms of the circumstances of the coronavirus, I think this may be the best thing that we can do. I'm sitting at home, you're sitting at home, and yet we are discussing subjects that are beyond our daily experiences, and hopefully we will overcome it. And if something should happen, then this is Ishvara's wish, and so we will abide by that. So with that, let us say a prayer. And then I will also to play the mantra that was sent by Swami, that was sent by Ramaswamy, and it was chanted by Swami Omkarananda. And we will do that today, and then we will start our normal class. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Takshina Murtaye Namaha Gukarastu andhakaro vai rukarastu nivartakaha andhakara nirodhitvat gururitya vidhiyate sadashiva samarambham shankaracharya madhyamam asmadacharya paryantam vande guru paramparam. Om sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om shanti shanti shanti. Now I will play the mantra by Swami Omkarananda.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Atrinatva Krime Hanmi Kanvena Jamadagnina Vishwavasor Brahmana Hataha Kriminagum Raja Apyeshagsthapatir Hataha Atho Mata Atho Pita Atho sthura, atho kshudra, atho krishna, atho shveta, atho ashatika hata, shvetabhissaha sarve hata, aharavadya, shrutasya havisho yatha, tat satyam, yadamum yamasya jambhayoh adadhami tatha hi tat khandphanmrasi. Harihi Om.
So now let us chant verses 41 through 47 of the Advaita Prakaranam. Incidentally, before we do that, I would like to propose that from next week we will do all the Dasha Mantras like we used to before we started the 108 verses chanting in the morning. Since we are not doing that for the time being, let us go back to the 10 mantras. So we will chant that right after the initial mantras. So I just want to give you that advance notice, and if you can please have your texts ready, we will chant the 10 Dashamantras before each class. Okay, so now let us chant the verses 41 through 47, and I will chant it twice, once my own and then the second time when you are doing it, hopefully also at the same time. So this is verse 41 of the 3rd chapter. Utseka udadher yadvat kushagranaika binduna. Utseka udadher yadvat kusha agrena eka binduna. Manaso nigrahastadvat bhavet aparikhedataha. Manaso nigrahastadvat bhavet aparikhedataha. Upayena nigrinhiyat vikshiptam kama bhogayoh. Upayena nigrinhiyat vikshiptam kama bhogayoh. Suprasannam laye chaiva yatha kamo layastatha. Suprasannam laye chaiva yatha kamo layastatha. Dukkham sarvamanuspritya kama bhogat nivartayet. Dukkham sarvamanuspritya kama bhogat nivartayet. Ajam sarvamanusmritya jatam naivatu pashyati. Ajam sarvamanusmritya jatam naivatu pashyati. Laye sambodhayet chittam vikshiptam shamayet punaha. Laye sambodhayet chittam vikshiptam shamayet punaha. Sakashayam vijaniyat samapraptam na chalayet. Sakashayam vijaniyat samapraptam na chalayet. Naswadayet sukham tatra nissangah pragyaya bhavet. Naswadayet sukham tatra nissangah pragyaya bhavet. Nishchalam nishcharaschittam eki kuryat prayatnataha. Nishchalam nishcharaschittam eki kuryat prayatnataha. Yada naliyate chittam nacha vikshipyate punaha. Yada naliyate chittam nacha vikshipyate punaha. Anirangam manabhasam nishprapannam brahmatattada. Anirangam anabhasam nishpannam brahmatattada. Swastham shantam sanirvanam akathyam sukhamuttamam. Swastham shantam sanirvanam akathyam sukhamuttamam. Ajam ajena gyeyena sarvagyam parichakshate. Ajam ajena gyeyena sarvagyam parichakshate. Okay, let me turn the TV on. Hopefully you can see. We had to experiment with having a black background and a white text on top of that for lighting purposes. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully you can read it. Okay, so let us start the class. It's been 2 weeks, which was a long time ago, so a little bit of revision. So what we had done in verse number 40 was to summarize the 3 different stages of gaining this vision of the self. So let me change this so I can, the reflection of the light is, this is better. So first, the Uttama Drishti. Uttama Drishti means the superior vision. This is what we have to aspire to. Excuse me. So I think as we were discussing, just an overall revision, most of these advanced texts of Vedanta give us an idea of what is understandable now and what is going to be understandable in the future, and then how do we recognize that the future is something that I am reaching. I am able to see the road markers. And so in that sense, it's a treatise of both the present as well as the future. So in terms of Mananam and Nididhyasanam, there are things that you have not been able to grasp very clearly at this point, but the Upanishad gives you the markers to do so. So the Uttama Drishti, so one interesting thing to talk about here is that it is not as though it's not as though one person is Uttama, the other one is Adhama, the third one is Madhyama. It is not, you can look at it that way, but it is more important for one person, any one of us, to see where we are in this journey of life. Are we Adhama? And Adhama is defined, I can just now revise this, as someone who at this point is not ready to inquire into the self. You're happy with the life or unhappy with the life. Whatever it is, you're involved with the transactions of life. And to gain an insight into a complete understanding of who we are, they are not ready for it. So this is fine. They will be at some point in time. Everybody has to go through all these stages at some times in their lifespans, several lifespans. So that's okay. Then the Madhyama, and I would say most of us belong in that category, are the ones that are interested. Something appeals to them. Wow, this is something worth looking into. Atma asti, Brahma asti. But Brahma is not asmi. That aparoksha anubhuti has not taken place yet. So I strive for it. Some of the things I am understanding, but the whole thing is not yet understood. So this is the Madhyama Drishti. And then of course the Uttama Drishti is when you recognize I have passed through that gate, I recognize it, and I am there now. This is the process we all have to go through. Okay, and so the Uttama Drishti, as it says here, is the one where all the transactions, all the experiences of life are seen to be a projection on my unchanging nature of the Atma. So this is an important thing to see because there are schools of thought, and so here Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy, not the Sankhya knowledge that was given that is talked about in the Gita, but the Sankhya as a separate philosophy. And also I would say the modern Vedanta The modern Vedanta. The modern Vedanta means one that tries to not go through the entire scriptural description, but wants to take a shortcut and just say, listen, what the scriptures say is that the Atma is separate from the world. Asangoham. So that part they grasp right away. That's very attractive. And of course it is. Atma is asangaha, no doubt about it. So they are actually talking about the truth, but not in the way that would be beneficial to them. It's not the reality yet for them. So they say that the Atma is asangaha, then the world is different from me. Here's the problem with that view. And I think that some of that is going to come, but I'm just summarizing it for you. The problem with that view is that you're giving equal reality to the Atma and the world outside. All you're doing is to say, I am unconnected to the world outside. It's like, you say, listen, there is a person that I don't like. I don't like that person. I don't want to be associated with that person. And now I have found a way to be separated with that person. I am right here and that person is someplace else. I don't have anything to do with it. I'm okay now. This is the view. So the Sankhya view also is that the world may be full of problems. And the modern Vedanta, when I say Sankhya, Sankhya is the underpinning of the old system, and the modern Vedanta is, and I was telling you about this three-day seminar that I attended, which was Advaita Vedanta, and they had asked me to talk about traditional Vedanta. Remember, I've talked about this before also. This was in Napa somewhere. Where was it? It was, anyway, I don't remember the name of the city. And what I found I gave my talk, and then I sat in through the whole day. I didn't go for the second day. And I went to a lot of seminars. And this was the main thing. That listen, you just meditate and you think that I am completely separate from the world, and the world doesn't have anything to do with it, which is the truth. But the way you approach the truth is not correct, because, as I said earlier, you're giving a reality to the world which is separate from what your reality is. And this is not the final answer. This will not serve you. Forget about the final answer. It will not serve you. You can meditate it for a while and feel good about it, but then it will come back to bite you. At least in the example of having a person that you don't like, you can never see that person. Like a person, supposing you get divorced and you say, I want to move to a different city, never see the person. But in the case of the world, the moment you open your eyes, the moment you start transacting, the moment you go for getting groceries and so on, the world encompasses you. It's not the answer. So here, the Uttama Drishti. So look at it summarizes the Uttama Drishti. Here, the internal and the external things are but a kalpana, a kalpitaha. It is a projection. It's an adhyaropa. It's an adhyaropa. This word adhyaropa is something that we will probably spend some time discussing. But adhyaropa is an important word. So adhyaropa means adhi plus aropa. That's the etymology of the word adhyaropa. Adhyaropa apavada. Adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapadyate. This is he says the Acharya points out the nishprapancham means that the advaitam of the whole world by first explaining Adhyaropa, and then apavada means to remove it. So the adhyaropa means adhi plus aropa. Adhi plus aropa. Aropa means, so adhi means very close and to me, means very personal. It's not some, so let me explain the word aropa and then we will say adhyaropa. Aropa means a false accusation. It's called aropa. If those of you that know Hindi will relate to it, when we were growing up in India, we used to say, आप मुझे ऐसे ही फालतू आरोप लगा जा रहे हैं, मेरे ऊपर आरोप लगाने का आपका क्या फ़ायदा है, मैंने ऐसा नहीं किया, I didn't do anything. And so the aropa means a false accusation. So here the connection between the world and the self is like an aropa. And so the aropa means that the world, you are accusing yourself as being infected with the outside. When you say problems, you say this is my problem. We don't understand that this is the mind's problem, not my problem. I am not capable of having a problem. This is not clear to me. But for the Uttama Adhikari, for the Uttama Drishti, the superior vision, it is very clear. It is very clear that this is just a superimposition. It's just like having an ornamentation on the basic metal. That's all it is. And so this is the Uttama. And then the result of that, I think this might be in the word, verse number 40 itself. I just want to double check that. Yeah. Manaso nigrahayattamam abhayam sarva yoginam. So abhayam, so the word abhayam is used, and so normally abhayam means I don't have any fear. And most of us will say, you might say, well, that's not me, I'm not fearful. Actually, we at this point in time, we are fearful because of the coronavirus. So that is a real fear, no doubt about it. But normally we are not that fearful about things. We go about our lives, we are not fearful. But here the meaning of fearfulness should be understood very well. And this is really the very central part of Vedanta, especially in some of the Nididhyasanam books. Fearful means anxiety and tension. So Vimeshananji also says that a continuous experience of life which will say, when will this problem will be over? When will I get better? This is one after the other, unceasing, kind of like a flow of the river. This is called fearfulness. And the Uttama Drishti is one where you don't have that. You are completely free from it. Anyway, I want to go ahead and tackle a lot of other ones, but this is a revision of what would be called a lakshana. So it's interesting that the word lakshana is used to indicate how will I know that I have arrived. You will see the following scene. Like for example, supposing you're going to a temple on top of a hill and you're going through the various ways. When will you know that you have arrived at the temple? Well, temples are easy to see, very tall, and with a shikhara on the top, maybe even a flag. When you see that, it means I have arrived. So similarly here, this is the lakshana for an uttama drishti. A lakshana means you'll become fearless. That anxieties even if they arise because of prarabdha karma, it is very possible that even for a jnani, the anxiety might come because of the prarabdha karma, which is this is nothing but a vasana. But you can easily dismiss it. And Swami Dayanand Ji had given this very beautiful example. He said, sometimes you're reading a newspaper and the words are all visible. You can actually read, and obviously you can read everything. Sometimes, if for some reason the newspaper catches a fire and gets burnt, but not completely, it is now burnt but hasn't gone into ashes yet, in such a way that the words on the page are still visible. So he used to say that the problems for a jnani, this is the lakshana for a jnani, lakshana for a yogi, jnani. Here the word yogi is used as a jnani. The lakshana for a jnani is that even if the problems arise, it is like burnt newspaper. How is the burnt newspaper? It is barely visible, and in fact there is no solidity to it. You can just put your finger on the burnt newspaper and it will just crumble. This is the lakshana. So the uttama drishti would be where even if there are experiences, they are seen as a interesting projection on the self. Anyway, so that's what it is. So we'll talk about all of that. See, then I just gave this. This is actually not correct. It should be hina, a long e, not hina. The hina is the adhama drishti. Madhyama is drishti, the middle one. We talked about that also, but so I don't want to go through that now. Okay, now having so the discussion in the Karika is both with respect to what is the correct way to progress your understanding and what is an incorrect way to progress in your understanding. So both of them are being given so that you can see the contrast and see where mistakes might be made. So for example, in number 41, let's just look at 41. Utseka udadher yadvat kusha agrena binduna manaso nigraha tadvat bhavet aparikhedataha. So he says that if you are doing in nigraha, there are actually two things talked about in verse number 41. One is a negative way of looking at it, and another is a positive way of looking at it. So let me present both of them. The negative way of looking at it is the practice of mind control. Mind control means that there's a lot of people who would say that you have to meditate again and again, and also this vipassana business, you don't talk very much, just control your mind, and this is how you will achieve. And the thinking is that if you keep it long enough, then you will become naturally that. It doesn't happen that way, because it is exactly like someone saying this world doesn't exist, the world doesn't exist, the world doesn't exist, because you deny this existence. And the correct way to look at it is the world exists, but it doesn't matter to me. This is the Vedantic vision, is what we have to understand. So the negative way of nigraha means a mind control which is forceful, which is obstinate, which is not natural. positive way, which will be discussed more in number 42, 43, etc., is yes, you do need to have manonigraha. We don't say that you shouldn't do it, but it should be in a manner where you are naturally confronting issues and dealing with them in an intelligent manner. I'll come to that in a minute. But anyway, just to summarize verse number 41, what he says is, that's another interesting thing that being pointed out as part of the positive nature of it, which is that it is going to be difficult. It is not easy. In fact, it is like you should have as much patience as you would if you were to drain the entire ocean. There is an example given. I don't have the exact part of it. There is an example where there was a bird who had laid some eggs. You may have heard of this example. So this bird had laid some eggs on the sand beach of an ocean. And the bird was going there to get some food for the impending offspring. And when she came back, she found that the ocean had drowned her eggs. She was so angry at the ocean that she said, I am going to teach you a lesson. I am going to drain you. So she took her beak, dipped it into the ocean, took some water out and threw it away, and came back again for the same one. And she kept doing it without any kheda. So parikhedataha, aparikhedataha bhavet. Aparikhedataha means without any impatience. She says very patiently, I'm just going to do this. Then Shiva approached and said, what are you doing? She said, this is what happened to me. I want to teach the ocean a lesson. So Shiva said to the bird, listen, I'm very impressed by you. I'm impressed by your patience. And you should see that this is not possible. This is not an easy thing. It means it is impossible, and I will help you. I'll give you a new offspring. Please forgive the ocean. So this is the example given in the Shastra. Here it says that yes, patience, a lot of patience is required. This is, by the way, a very important thing which I'll just bring in from some of the teachings of Swami Maheshananji. What he said was, and I've been reading more and more, there's several themes that come out of reading the teachings of Swami Maheshananji, and one of them is this, that our issue is we become impatient. Impatient and reasonably impatient, because we say, we've been studying Vedanta for so long and I have not gained the kind of vision that the Vedanta promises. When is that going to happen? I don't know what to do. And so your efforts become polluted, if that's the right word, by worry, by impatience. Swami Maheshananji has written this extensively in many of his books. I see there's like several important themes. This is the interesting thing. If you read a lot of literature, and here the only literature I read is Vedantic literature. I don't read novels or anything like this. And the Vedantic literature has certain common areas. And if you see how it is repeated, you know it is very important. This is one of them. Swami Maheshananji points out that, listen, one of the issues, because he deals with a lot of people who have been studying all their lives, and they come to him and say that, listen, Swamiji, nothing is happening to me. Not nothing is happening to me, but I am not able to make as much progress, which is the story of many of us. And he says the reason for that is you are wasting unnecessary time worrying because of impatience. This is not an easy thing. Just have Shraddha. It will come later on also. Shraddha and Abhyasa are the two things. So just keep doing it. So here in verse number 41 it says, don't be foolish and keep repeating it unnecessarily. But the positive aspects of that is it is going to take some time, and do not be impatient. So that's what verse number 41 says. Kusha agrena eka binduna. Just like the Kusha agra, like the tip of the Kusha grass, you take one drop out, and how much patience you need, you should have that way of thinking. He says, Manaso nigraha tadvat. That's how the nigraha should be done. Don't be impatient. Bhavet aparikhedataha. Don't get upset. It will happen because it's the truth. Praptasya praptihi. Why worry about it? It will take its own time. Anyway, so that's number 41. Then in verse number 42, Upayena nigriniyat vikshiptam kama bhoga yoho suprasannam laye chaiva yatha kamo layas tatha. Okay, so now what we had talked about was that don't mindlessly control the mind. As an obstinate person, yes, I'm just going to do this. Not the way, it's not going to really do anything. The mind, in the way you're approaching is more powerful than you think you are. You'll be defeated. But if you follow the instructions of the Shastra, then similar methodology can be used where you're starting to make progress. What is it? This is given in verse number 42. So, instead of force, an intelligent, I made a mistake here, the mind improvement. Somehow when I was editing it last night, I didn't do it. An intelligent, forget about the word the, an intelligent mind improvement towards a natural state should be done. And here, I think the words of Swami Dayanandji are embedded in my mind. That's why I don't even, I've been with him for so long that I don't even have to read his books anymore, because just like I was talking about some important aspects of Vedanta from Swami Maheshananji's teaching, similarly those important things from Swami Dayanandji also have been in my mind as I approach. And this is one of them. Swami Dayanandji used to say, please be aware of the 3 stages of your mind's approaches towards life. 3 segments, 3 stages. One is mechanical response. Then as you progress, a deliberate response. And the third one is a spontaneous response. So I used to say, a mechanical response is the one that we are perhaps born with. So this is called Prakrita Buddhi. This word is used in Shastra. Prakrita Buddhi versus Samskrita Buddhi. So the Prakrita Buddhi means natural, not yet educated, not yet honed. It's kind of like the vision that comes to me is when a person starts to make an artist starts to make a vigraha, a murti, a form, then you start with either a stone or a metal. Let's say stone. So the stone is a Prakrita stone. It is natural. It hasn't been touched upon. It hasn't been improved upon yet. But the artist, when it improves it, cuts it and chips it and so on, it comes out with a murti. So this is called a Samskrita versus Prakrita. That's the contrast I wanted to give in terms of the words. So anyway, back to this, Swamiji used to say that the Prakrita Buddhi is mechanical response. Mechanical response means that somebody hurts you, something hurts you. You immediately hurt back without thinking. Arguments. Because it is natural for you, nobody wants to be hurt. And as soon as you are hurt, you just kick back. This is what the animals do. You don't think about it. Should I kick this guy or not? I'm just going to do it. This is the mechanical one. And so that means that it has not gone through your review process yet. The review process means you pause and think about, should I do it? Because this is what distinguishes a human being from an animal. Manushyaha. So the Manushyaha means that the animals are not capable of doing this. They don't have to think, should I hurt this person or not? If they feel like hurting, they will hurt. A Manushya, on the other hand, has to think deliberately. And so what happens is, the intermediate deliberate process is that yes, the mechanical nature will come to you, but you have to pause. And it's very possible that you may need to hurt him back right away, but at least you've gone through the review. But you keep doing this because it is not yet a habit. Then the third stage is where you don't have to think about it. Your entire nature has now changed, where hitting back at someone, reacting to situations is no longer part of your nature. It becomes spontaneous. So very similar to that is what is called the upaya. So the word upaya is used here, I think in verse number 42. Upayena nigriniyat. So upaya means a method. And there are, in verse number 42, an important segmentation of the two main upayas are used. So let's look into that. One is Kamana and Bhoga combination. So this is given in the first line of the verse number 2. Upayena nigriniyat vikshiptam kama bhogayoho. Okay, so this is number 1. So this means that there is always going to be, if you examine our lives and how we respond to experiences and so on, what you will see is that the whole day consists of many things that instill a desire in you. I think I want to do this. I would go there. Why don't I do this? So this is what was called earlier as sankalpa. Remember, we were talked about the sankalpa as the road marker. that one of the road markers of sankalpa is that a jnani doesn't do these kinds of sankalpa. His or her mind is not full of, okay, I think after this, then I think I shall do this. Other than what is necessary for your body, mind, protection of the family, protection, which is okay, that is a separate thing. But just a kamya bhoga. This is what is kamana bhoga, means that our whole life is. And so here, it should be talked about, going back to Swami Dayanandaji's. Swami Dayanandaji says that if your life consists of postponing to the future, if I did this, wouldn't it be nice? I think it will be nice to do this. And then you have bhoga. Bhoga means that you do some action, kartritva. Bhoktritva means that you get a result of it later on. You get a result of it, either good or bad or uncertain. And then based on that, you go back again to the same cycle, kamana again. No, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have really asked for this sort of a thing. I'll do a better job of listening or doing something. Kamana again. And so your whole life is full of this combination of kamana and bhoga. And all this time, there is no opportunity to sit back and see where is it coming from, why is it happening, is it being useful to me, am I getting somewhere? I'm not sure I am. So this is the first upaya. And here, just to give you an idea, if you look at Hindi commentary by Swami Maheshananji, so he says that this, and he spent several pages on it, I won't go through all of that. He says upaya is very personal. Very personal, and in fact this is one of the reasons it is recommended, this word called antevasinaha. Antevasinaha is a synonym used for students of Vedanta, not general students, but students of self-knowledge are sometimes called antevasinaha. Antevasinaha means the ones who live very close to the Guru. And this is Kali Yuga, and we are not even talking to each other in face to face. It is all through these cameras and YouTube and so on. And it's really funny because I'm looking at the eye of the camera, imagining who is listening to me, but I don't know who is there. So this is the opposite of antevasinaha. But the antevasinaha means one who live very close to the Guru, and that also not the modern sense where you stay for a week or a seminar, a retreat. A retreat is a small sample of antevasinaha. In fact, this is why the Swamis say they all like retreats for a good reason. But anyway, the antevasina means, the word upaya, what Swami Maheshananji is explaining is that in the old days, you would live with a Guru for years. And the Guru will get to know what are the particular problems of kamana and bhoga for this person. Because they are not all the same. Not all the same. There are people who are worried about money. So the Guru has to be very aware of the fact that this person has a problem. He is very money-minded. To sort of inform him about that. There could be another person who is attached to a dog. In fact, this is an example given in the Shastra, that there was a person who was a great bhakta of Shiva or Vishnu, I forget, and really was very very well informed. He had studied Vedanta and so on, and yet there was a hang up in the person which was keeping him from moksha. It turns out that he had a buffalo when he was living in a house, and he was so attached to the buffalo. He was always thinking of the buffalo. I hope it gets enough grass. I hope it gets enough food. Who's taking care of the... His mind was all attached to the buffalo. And the guru had to finally find out, what is bothering you? Why are you attached to any one thing? You have gotten disattached to everything else but this one thing. He found out it is the buffalo. And then he had to reason with him that, listen, this is silly. The buffalo he's being taken care of. Why are you worried about it? Just give up on that. By the way, that reminds me of this story that Swami Maheshananji gives. Swami Maheshanand, I think, he was in the Ramakrishna mission for a while. It appears, I'm not sure yet, because he knows a lot about the life of Ramakrishna and so on. So he gives this story. So apparently Ramakrishna, of course, was a very advanced person, as we all know, Paramahansa, and very powerful person. He was not only a jnani, he was a yogi and had a lot of powers, and one of them was to be able to see his Devi and talk to her and so on, and very attached to her, very devoted to her. And one day his guru, his name was Totapuri, who had to be, he was from the north someplace in Punjab or somebody. He was traveling and he had heard about Ramakrishna and his powers and what a great person he is. So he came to visit with him. And what he found was that he was really a very capable person, but he was very attached to the Devi. So he talked to him and he said, listen, you are an independent person and the Devi also is nothing but a mithya. And you need to be aware of the fact that you don't need anyone. And Ramakrishna says, no. I understand what you're telling me, but please don't ask me to leave my Devi. She is my mother. She is the one who has given me all the powers, and I'm very attached to her. And the story goes, I'm suddenly looking at the text on the screen and it doesn't look very clear. I'm sorry to interrupt. I hope that you can read this. I have to talk to Chandra and Raj to see how we can improve this. But anyway, it doesn't look very clear. So we'll see. Anyway, so we're going back to the story. Totapuri told him, listen, you have to cut this tie with the Devi with the sword of knowledge. And this is holding you back. You are not gaining complete independence. You are capable of anything, but you must do this. So he gave him the upaya on how to do this. And so going back to this verse number 42, the upaya has to be very personal. This is what the point is. I'm sorry it took so long to give you the... Okay, so this is one of the two methods. One is to understand what is holding me back. Am I too attached to money or family or even to a little dog? I have seen so many people who are saying, I'm very upset because my dog is dying. Their choice. Their choice. So this is one thing. The second one is called Laya. This is also an issue that we have to address. Both of them have to. So the one is Vikshepa, which is the first one, Kamana Bhoga. And the second one is Laya. This is also a very important thing for us to see because it's a trap. It's a trap which is very common to everyone, that we like the pleasure of not doing anything. We find that, I don't have any desires. Let the person go to movies, whatever it is, but I'm superior. I don't want to do anything. Well, what is the issue with that? Why is that a problem? Let's look into that. So here, this means Laya is just like in Kamana, where we have different kinds of Kamanas, Laya also has different kinds. One of them is sleeping. You just enjoy the vasana of sleep. Here in the 11th chapter of Panchadashi, here Swami Vidyaranya Ji explains not only the ananda of sleep, but the ananda of the recollection of sleep, which is called Vasanananda, and especially happens right after when you wake up. Right after when you wake up, when the whole world hasn't started to engulf you, you enjoy the memory of sleep. This is called Vasanananda. So something like not only the sleeping, but also the fact that I am just being quiet. I don't need to do anything. Another version of that is inebriation, alcohol. And general laziness and ennui. I'm not bothering anyone, no one is bothering me, I'm fine. So what is the problem with this? Why is this not good? Because, in fact, I think I may have said it. No, I didn't say that here. The seeds of Kamana and Bhoga are still there. This is the issue. You are just, it is just not germinating yet. It is in a seed form. That doesn't mean that you have eliminated it. It will come back to you. And also the sleeping and inebriation and general ennui, how long is it going to be? So, in fact, it is said that, this is an important thing, this is experience for all of us, that the moment we start meditating, we tend to go to sleep, and we enjoy that. Sometimes I remember very early on when I got exposed to meditation with Swami Chinmayanand. I remember that. I used to feel that, my problems of going to sleep are gone. Because the moment you feel I cannot go to sleep because I've had too much coffee or something, you start meditation and pretty soon you go to sleep. Which is a problem. Which is a problem in the sense that the meditation of dhyanam and nididhyasanam needs some inquiry about the self. This is why both of these are cited to be a problem, and the upaya has to be devised to get you out of both of these. One of them is you're moving around too much, and the other one is you're just sitting quietly, not inquiring about the self. So this is what verse number 42 is giving. Now, Let's go to 43. It's 9:27. I think I'll go up to, because we don't really have you giving me any questions. Raj and Chandra are both asking me to use the YouTube chat window so you can give me questions, and it was just too much for me to take care of today. I had so many other things to get ready for this setup that for this week we won't do this, but hopefully by next week I will have my laptop also, and then on the laptop I will see what questions you have, and then I will try to answer it. So we will have a reasonable question and answer session, but today we won't. So I'll probably go up to maybe about 9:40 or so today to give me some chance to rest before the next class that begins at 10 o'clock. So that's my plan. We'll have another 10-12 minutes of teaching. So let's go to verse number 43. In 43, Swami Maheswara Ji explains, is a more detailed version of the upaya than the verse number 42. 42 was an introduction, and 43 is a more opening up of the constituents of the two upayas. Of the two upayas being Kamana Bhoga, the Nigrihitam from there, and also Nigrihitam from Laya. Both of them. Okay. So let's go to 43. It says, Dukkham sarvam anusmritya kama bhogat nivartayet. So kama bhogat nivartaye means that the way to diminish the control of desires and its effects. This is what Swami Dayanand used to call Bhavasagar. Bhavasagar means that something that you postpone for the future. I'm going to have this desire and then I will have these results. No, I don't like these results, so I'm going to change my desires to this way. It's a continuous process. You are never really facing yourself. So to diminish that, nivartayet, may you get rid of it by the following way. What is the following way? Dukkham sarvam anusmritya. Anusmritya means to recall. And the reason for the recall, the nature, not the reason, but the nature of the recall is you understood it initially but did not remember to use it continuously. So anusmritya means that there is a smriti, there is a memory of something. And the memory is that bhoga and kamana are not leading me anywhere. They are just extending my experiential life and not allowing me to reach moksha. This is the initial one. But then you got used to doing it because of nature, and you forget it. And so here the idea is deliberately thinking of problems even in pleasure. This is an important thing. Instead of being lost in enjoying pleasure completely, because the moment the advice given is deliberately think of problems even in pleasure, one thinks, what? You're asking me not to enjoy my life? Yes, in a way, yes. In fact, Swami Tattvavidananda, this is one of his favorite things. He says, the day you cease to seek pleasure, you will have peace. This is the same thing. And so what we are now doing through Kamana and Bhoga, this is the Bhoga part of the Kamana. You did some good things and so on and so forth. Now you're enjoying the nature of it and you're not thinking about anything else. Shastra says, think about it even as you are having pleasure. What to think about it? This is going to end soon. This is one aspect of it. Another aspect, we have not just given all of it, just a summary of it, just sample of it. Another would be, I am dependent on something for this pleasure. I am not independent. So with these kinds of looking at the aspects of pleasure, looking at the defects in pleasure. This is why this is a very interesting statement. Dukkha darshanam pandita lakshanam. Dukkha darshanam pandita lakshanam. The lakshanam of a wise person, of a well-educated person is that he or she knows all the defects. I don't remember who said this, but this was a great example that sticks in my mind. It says that, an editor, when you say an editor, so the editor is in that field called a Pandita. Pandita means that he's knowledgeable. So supposing somebody submits an article to the editor. Hey, I want to, so the editor of a magazine, let's say, he gets a lot of submissions of different kinds of articles that people send. His or her job is to go through the article that was submitted and find out if it makes sense or not. How? Because there are certain rules. You have to make sure, well, obviously grammatical rules are correct. Spelling is one aspect of it. But the makeup of it, because a good article gives you the main points right away. Then goes into what are the main points and then summarizes it. And if the article doesn't do it, that means that it is, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It is not dukkha darshanam, it is dosha darshanam. I was thinking of dosha and I said dukkha. That's not correct. Dosha darshanam pandita lakshanam. Dosha means defect. The article, the editor, you will say, will mark up the whole thing and says, no, you have to, first of all, if there are some silly mistakes, you can say, no, you have to correct all this. But even the more important things in terms of, does it hang together? Does it really reach the audience in the right way is what makes a pandit. Similarly here also, even as you are enjoying the method to understand the limitations of pleasure is to think about it even as you are having pleasure. Start the whole process. This is when you will become a wise person. So this is number one. The second one is I wanted to see. Yeah. Then look at the second line of verse number 43. So the first one was Dukkham sarvam anusvritya kama bhogat nivartayet Then the second one is Ajam Sarvam Anusmritya Jatam Naivantu Pashyati. So Ajam Sarvam Anusritya. So I'll translate that exactly, but let me just give you the general principle first, which is that again this is Anusmritya. So the word Anusmritya is common to first line and the second line. There also there is a recollection. Here in the second line, the recollection has to do with the fact that the Shastra has explained the truth of the self, but we forget it. We don't invoke it often enough. This has to be done. And so you have to continuously think about it. We students often say that, I've been studying but nothing is happening. The reason is that we only study it like this 1 hour during the week. What about the rest of the week? You have to bring in the same points in your mind, educate it over and over again. It's called abhyasa, forming a habit. One of the good things I've discovered in my life is that forming a good habit is just as easy as forming a bad habit. Once you form a good habit, it becomes part of your nature. It's a wonderful thing. And so really to think about it over and over again, whenever you have a chance. Why should we think about silly things? Like these days, very worried about coronavirus. And you find that I am just looking at the news over and over again. Hey, if something has, of course we have to be careful about what some of the things are. We should listen to that. But how many people are died? What is Santa Clara County, the count is, and so on and so forth. Think about Atma at that time. And so this is called the habit, the abhyasa. And so now to close off, just a minute or so left, he says, Ajam anusarvam anusmritya jatam na evatu pashyati. Means, please see. Please try to see. You may not see yet, but try to see that you were never born. Ajam. Then jatam na evatu pashyati. Don't conclude that you are born. This is part of the survey of what needs to be done. Anyway, we are short of what we're closing in on the end of this Advaita Prakaranam, and we will take up the rest of the verses in the next few weeks, and then we will start the last one, which is Alata Shanti Prakaranam, and then we'll be done. So with that, I close the class, and I do, if you can send me some emails about how did you think it went, what should I do some things differently, because it's a new experience for me, I would appreciate some feedback from you. Thank you. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Shobharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityunjaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you.